Would you like to hear a story about a death-defying showman? Let me tell you. Once upon a time, there was a showman. His name was Alexander. He ran a circus that was first run by his father, but unfortunately his father passed away. Ever since then, the circus has lost profit and performers, leaving tonight's show as a one-man show. Alexander wondered, what should he do? He remembered something that his father did, but he promised at his deathbed that he would not do it. But this is for the sake of his wife. Without the circus, how are they going to survive? How are they going to live? So he did what he had to do. He scoured to the storage room, and he found the golden staff. And he chanted, "May beasts and creatures under the sun be under my command, and may they be a part of my show." And just like that, hustle and bustle of animals, of roars of lions and growls of bears and elephant trumpets. Alexander ran outside his tent, and there was, a line of animals under his command. He thought to himself, "This is for Mary, my love." The night that was anticipated arrived, and there he was, a one-man show, but no audience clapped for him. He brought in the lion, and he made it do simple tricks such as a handstand and jumping through the circles, burning circles even. But the audience were not impressed. They wanted more. Influenced by the audience, Alexander whipped the lion. The lion roared in pain. Yet, before it could retaliate him and fight back, he used the staff to command it to be tame. The audience was shocked of what he could do. Claps started to thunder around the tent. And that's when Alexander realized the pattern to get their interest. He whipped, electrocuted, and beat the lion. But the lion, it tried fighting back, but the influence of the staff was too strong. And his wife, Mary, he could feel the glare behind him from her. The confused and disappointed glare of, is he really doing all of this for her sake? Then, as Alexander was consumed by the thunderous claps of the audience, he accidentally undid the influence of the lion, and the lion tried to fight back. It leapt at him, and in the nick of time, the only thing that he could think of was, "Turn into shreds!" And there they was, pieces of skin and bones and pools of blood. The lion was shredded into pieces, and he stood there in horror, in the complete silence of the room. But he thought of something that his father didn't. He pointed the staff at the lion, and he said, "May you reject death and come to life." And to his surprise, the lion was back to life, and the thunderous claps of the tent once more overwhelmed him, and he bowed before continuing his final act. As he was entering the dressing room, Mary sneakily stole the staff and ran outside the tent, but she realizes that she has nowhere to go. She loved Alexander, but she cannot stand for what he did. She felt the warm summer sun and the cooling breeze of this air. She looked at the staff and questioned it. "What did you do to my husband? Why did he turn into what he was back then? How could he do such act?" "I did bring it back to life, did I not?" "Oh, of course you find me. No, I'm not giving the staff back to you. After what you did to that lion, what are you going to do to the rest of the animals? I know you, and no, I'm not giving it back." "Mary, you do know that I'm doing this for our sake. If we don't get the attention and their money, how are we going to live? What, do you want to continue to eat scraps of meals? I brought it back to life anyway. Is that not mercy?" "Even death would have been kinder than what you did. And you call that mercy? Do you realize what you had done? Do not use me to justify abuse. For the sake of the people. I know what happened. I saw how reluctant you were. How reluctant you were to do it until the people started clapping. Who are you doing this for? What are you fighting for? I don't think it's me. And I definitely don't think it's us. Hearing what his wife said, Alexander realized what he did. And he did what he had to do. He came back to the arena as a final act. And he brought all the animals behind him. He believes that the staff will do what he asked for. May you protect me for my intentions and what I will do. Then he breaks the staff, slams it to the ground, and stomps on it. And all the animals has lost its influence. It swarmed him, trampling him, and all the audience are panicking. They're in shock. The dust covered the arena. No one can really tell what's going on, whether he's alive or he survived. And Mary watched in horror as she waits for the dust to settle. And his figure rises up, and to his surprise, that he survived. He gave his one last final bow before the audience clamored, and their claps thundered through the room. Mary ran up to him, jumping over the border, and hugged him, knowing that without him, she has no one else. Months passed, and ever since the event, Alexander decided to close down the circus, and perhaps Mary was right. It's time to start with something new. So, you'd be surprised how much the media would pay to know Alexander's secret. But that is all for now. What do you think? Quite a death-defying story, don't you think? Thank you so much for listening. The moral of the story is, don't fall for temporary validation. You might lose track of what you're actually fighting for.